The text came at 2:14 in the morning. I know that because I was awake. I'm always awake at that hour now. 12 years of not sleeping does that to you. The phone lit up on the nightstand. One line. No name attached, just a number I didn't recognize. Don't tell Mom I'm alive. Not yet. I read it 4 times before I could breathe. My sister disappeared when I was 19. Her name was Elin. She was 22, sharp as broken glass, the kind of person who filled a room the second she walked into it. And then one Tuesday in October, she walked out of our apartment to buy cigarettes and never came back. No note. No struggle, no body. Her car stayed in the lot. Her passport stayed in the drawer. Her whole life stayed exactly where she left it, like she'd stepped out of it the way you step out of a coat. The police called it a voluntary disappearance after 6 weeks. Do you know what that phrase does to a family? It tells you the person you love chose to leave you. It tells you to stop looking. It tells you to grieve someone who might be sitting in a cafe 3 towns over, laughing. My mother never stopped looking. She kept Elin's room exactly the same. Same posters, same unmade bed. For 12 years, she paid to keep a phone line active in case Elin ever called it. She never did. And now at 2:14 in the morning, my sister was texting me. Telling me to keep her a secret, I typed back with shaking hands. Where are you? The 3 dots appeared, then vanished, then appeared again, somewhere safe. Are you still at the apartment on Reed Street? We hadn't lived on Reed Street in 9 years, I told her that. I told her Mom moved us after the 2nd year, that the memories in that place were eating her alive. There was a long pause. Then you need to listen to me very carefully, she wrote. And you can't ask why until I'm done. What do when a ghost starts giving you instructions? You listen. She told me she left because she had to. That she'd seen something the week before she vanished. Something at the harbor where she worked nights doing the books for a shipping company. She'd found a second set of accounts. Money that moved through the company but belonged to men whose names she wasn't supposed to know. She said the night before she disappeared, one of those men came to her desk. He didn't threaten her. He just set a photograph down in front of her. A photograph of our mother taken through a kitchen window. And then he smiled and walked away, so Elin ran. Not from us, for us. She wrote, If I disappeared, they had no reason to touch you. As long as I was gone, you were all just a grieving family, harmless, forgettable. That was the only way to keep you alive. I sat on the edge of my bed in the dark and felt 12 years rearrange themselves. Every birthday she missed, every holiday with the empty chair, my mother crying into a sweater that had stopped smelling like her daughter years ago. All of it a shield, a wall Elin built out of her own absence to stand between us and something terrible. But I'm not a trusting person. 12 years of hoping and being wrong will do that. So I asked the question you're probably asking too. Why now? Why break 12 years of silence tonight? The dots appeared for a long, long time. Because the man who threatened us died last week, she wrote. And because I saw Mom's obituary this morning, I need to know if it's real. My stomach dropped through the floor. Because our mother wasn't dead. I'd had dinner with her the night before. She'd complained about her neighbor's dog and made me take home leftovers I didn't want. She was alive. She was fine. Someone had planted a fake obituary. And the only reason to do that, the only reason in the world, was to smoke Elin out. To make her break her silence. To make her come home, I told her. I typed as fast as my hands would let me. Mom is alive. I saw her yesterday. Elin, that obituary is bait. Someone wants you to surface. The reply came instantly this time. I know. I'm counting on it. I didn't understand. Not then. She explained it in fragments. The way you explain something you've been planning for a decade. The man who died last week wasn't the top of anything. He was a middle rung. The people above him were still there, still comfortable, still certain that the woman who'd seen their books was long dead in a river somewhere. For 12 years, Elin hadn't just been hiding. She'd been building. She found a journalist, then 2. She copied everything she could remember and everything she could dig up from the outside. She waited and waited until the one man who could recognize her face was gone. The fake obituary wasn't a trap set for her. It was a signal. It meant the people she was working with on the outside were ready. It meant it was finally time to come back and finish what sending herself into exile had started. I let them think I was dead so they'd get lazy, she wrote. Lazy men leave doors unlocked. In 3 days, everything I've collected goes public. I just needed to know Mom would still be there to see it. That I didn't lose her waiting to be safe enough to come home. I asked her the only thing that mattered to me. Are you coming back? The dots. Thursday. I'm coming home on Thursday. Keep the porch light on. And then, one more line, the one that finally broke me after 12 dry years. Tell Mom her daughter kept her promise. Tell her I said I'd always come home. I was just late. I didn't sleep that night. I sat with the phone in my hand until the sun came up, reading those messages over and over, terrified they'd vanish the way she had. That I'd wake up and find an empty screen and an empty chair and 12 more years of silence. Thursday came slower than any day of my life. I didn't tell my mother. I couldn't. What if I was wrong? What if it was a cruel trick? Someone with Elin's memories and none of her heart. I couldn't hand my mother that hope and then watch it shatter her a second time. So I did the only thing I could. I went to her house Thursday evening. I made dinner. I turned on the porch light and told her it was because the bulb had been flickering and I'd finally fixed it. She believed me, because why wouldn't she? We ate. The clock crawled toward 8, then 9, and I started to feel that old familiar poison seeping back in. The certainty that I'd been fooled. That hope was just grief wearing a better coat. At 9:47, there was a knock at the door. My mother stood to answer it, annoyed, muttering about the neighbor and his dog again. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I just watched her open the door, and I watched my mother's face when she saw the woman standing on the porch. A woman with gray threaded through her hair now, older, thinner, 12 years further down a road none of us got to walk with her. My mother didn't scream. She didn't faint. She just reached out one hand and touched Elin's face, the way you touch something to make sure it's real. And she said one word, late. And Elin, my sister, my ghost, laughed through tears and said, I know, Mom. I'm so sorry. I got held up. 3 days later, the story broke. It was on every front page in the country. Names you'd recognize. Men who'd been certain they were untouchable, dragged into the light by a woman they were sure had drowned 12 years ago, Elin testified. She's still testifying? It isn't finished, and it isn't clean, and some nights she still can't sleep either. Some things you carry out of the dark with you. But my mother's house has 3 chairs at the table again. The porch light stays on every night now, and none of us pretend it's about the bulb. People ask me if I'm angry. 12 years, they say. 12 years she let you grieve. 12 years of birthdays and holidays and your mother crying into a sweater. How do you forgive that? And I tell them the truth. She didn't take 12 years from us. She gave them to us. Every single one of those empty, aching years was a year we got to stay alive because she chose to disappear instead of letting them make us disappear. The text came at 2:14 in the morning. One line from a number I didn't recognize, but I recognized her. I always would have, because a sister who vanishes to save you isn't gone. She's just the bravest kind of coming home.